Good morning, good evening, wherever you are across the nation or around the globe. This is Deja Brew, where we are waking you up to truth at Beacon News, and that means we are guiding you from the dark to the light. Now, today we are talking a little bit more about this eclipse and the comet that's coming in because there's so much more happening that is like just in kind of news that we need to unpack here and to think about. So I want to share with you. Excuse me. Which one is it? Let me find my right page to be on. I think it's this one. Yes, it's this one right here. Okay, so many of you are familiar with the comet that is coming in, that some are calling the Phoenix and some are calling the Devil Comet. Pardon me. And this is a comet that only comes around every 71 years. Now, let me see if we can scroll down here some. I wish I could get this out of the way. So this is a picture, compliments of Earth Sky. .org. And as you can see, this is Comet Pons Brooks that visits our inner solar system every 71 years. Its perihelion is going to be on April 21st. Now, that's when it's the closest to the sun. April 21st is actually the date that I was given to watch out for. So now, I don't know why my mouse is jumping all over the place. Get this out of the way. Goodness gracious. All right, so we're going to watch this short video clip here that shows the progression and the drive-by, if you will. Oh my gosh, all this craziness. So that's just going to show us the transition, the path across the planet. So everyone that's actually in the path of totality will see this comet the best. Okay, I think it's known for its greenish appearance and its horns or wings that is emitted on the sides of it. And this is due to the dust, the gases, the ice, all of that builds up. So on its approach, a total eclipse will be visible from the North American area, and it makes its path from Texas all the way northeast to Maine on April 8th. This path totality indicates when and where the 31.6 million people living along that path are expected to see the eclipse happening. You can also check out what your weather is going to be in that area. The comet will be visible during the eclipse at only 25 degrees away from the sun. Okay, so this is where you'll look for the comet, 25 away from the sun. The body is on the edge of visibility to the naked eye and should be seen in the early evening hours in the direction of the constellation Pisces. And if you don't know where that's going to be at in your sky, get one of those free apps for your phone and look up where the constellations are in your night sky for your area, and it'll show you exactly where to look. And NASA says, and I quote, its arrival will put on quite a show for the deep camera images. So if you've got a great camera or a telescope, be sure to have it out for this. It says, although it's always difficult to predict the future brightness of comets, the comet Pons Brooks has been particularly prone to outbursts, making it even more difficult to predict how bright it will actually be as the moon moves in front of the sun on April 8th. The green color comes from molecules called dicarbon and absorbs sunlight and re-radiates some of it with the characteristic green tinge. Now, the brightness, the magnitude of this comet is that it keeps having these bursts where it puts out an even more intense brightness than it had had previously. So, this is something that you will be able to see with the naked eye if you don't have a moon in the sky, if there's no light pollution, if the weather is clear, then it might stand a chance for you to actually see it without a camera zooming in or a telescope. Or okay, you can also pick up a pair of binoculars and look at it. So it comes around every 71 years, and on April 21st is when the comet will make its closest approach, or the perihelion, to the sun at 74.4 million miles, according to astronomy, because it reaches its closest point to Earth on June 2nd at 144 million miles. So again, on June 2nd, you're going to be able to see this in the night sky. Okay, now moving on, because there's more to talk about here. We also have planets that will be in the night sky, or excuse me, in the daytime sky during the eclipse, as well as this comet. So you're going to see the moon and the sun. You're also going to see Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and Mars. That's interesting because it was Mercury that we were going to be able to see. Mercury is what they were saying, not Mars. So that's interesting that they've changed that. And those are things to take note of, in my opinion. Those are things to really take note of. Now let's see real quick what Fox has to say about it.
When you have auto glass damage, trust Safe Light. This dad and daughter were driving when they got a crack in their windshield.
First, right?
It's okay.
We'll just bleep out the commercial for a minute. And let the countdown begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Place.
Well, Fox Weather is counting down the days until America's total solar eclipse, which is a rare event. Folks not only wanting to witness this, but capture it as well on their devices, right? Phones and stuff. Fox Weather correspondent Robert Ray has tips for getting the best shot and a preview of how Fox Weather plans to bring you our special coverage.
Less than a month until the full solar eclipse crosses the United States, and Fox Weather is your source for coverage. We'll have crews up and down the areas that you'll be able to see the full solar eclipse. It's going to be unbelievable. And the question is that you may have, how exactly do we cover this? How do we capture this amazing event? Well, there's many different ways. Look, if you're a still photographer, you have a 300 millimeter to 500 millimeter lens. This is a detachable. You put it right on the camera and you look up and you've got a solar solar filter, actually, that I'm going to show you right now. This is an amazing little tool. This goes on there, and this allows the diffusion, so you can actually see the eclipse, the sun. It moves across, and the moon. It's going to be an amazing scene. And then we've got a camera like this, the Sony 400 with the big Canon lens. And what I will be doing during that, similar to what we did back in October when I covered it in San Antonio, is I'm going to actually be shooting this eclipse, looking up into the sky with this filter on it so I can see it. We'll be bringing that to you live on Fox Weather, while Lloyd Alford, our Fox Weather photojournalist based in Nashville, will be with me, and we'll be shooting actually each other. It's going to be a very dynamic experience at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I'll give our viewers that are on the scene the opportunity to actually look into the lens and up into the sky and see exactly what we're broadcasting. On top of that, we'll talk to viewers.
That'll be
we'll
pretty
immerse
cool.
ourselves in the entire situation, as all of the crews that will be out covering this eclipse for Fox Weather will do. My coverage kicks off on Saturday, April 6th, and will go all the way through Monday, April 8th, when the actual eclipse occurs. This is an event like no other. It doesn't happen very often, and we're going to bring you all the technological tools, satellite trucks, cameras, big, huge lenses to Fox Weather on the stream, on our Fox Weather app, on our connected TV. So many places to see our coverage coming up on April 8th, and I can guarantee you will not see a...
Okay. So this is going to be a pretty big deal. Everybody's going to be able to see this, even if you're not in totality, because all of the news people will be out there ready to, show you what it really looks like. And we're going to have these planets all visible during the daytime. And we're going to have this comet. And guess what else is happening? NASA is launching 3 rockets into the moon's shadow. They're doing that so that they can collect data, they claim, on how the atmosphere changes. What the F is happening? Crazy ass stuff. So as the total eclipse happens and passes over North America, the space agency is going to launch 3 separate rockets called atmospheric perturbation around eclipse path rockets, also known as APEP, which is also another name for Apophis, the serpent god that's the god of chaos. And they're going to launch these from Virginia, 45 minutes before the eclipse takes place, one right at eclipse, and then another one at the 45-minute after the eclipse mark. So that also will be happening. And then look, guess what else is going on? We got an announcement today that the Hadron Collider at CERN will go back online on April 8th. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to do a test they've never done before. They are, let me see if I can find it to read it to you exactly how it's worded. Here it is. It's highlighted. The first collisions of proton beams is what the test will be about. And it's going to be on April 8th. When all tests and fine-tuning of the machine are over, they will conduct the very first collisions of proton beams test. Then the large CERN experiments involving colliding protons can resume their measurement program. The LHC will enter into its last year in its current version with the April restart. Preparations for this have been going on step by step and test by test since the spring and are even ahead of schedule. The head of CERN's accelerator section, Dutchman Rind Stierenberg, reported in an interim report on the CERN website. At the end of this measurement season, scheduled for November or December, the next so-called long shutdown, the third long shutdown, will begin. This long shutdown will last several years and will be used to build the next version of the accelerator, the high luminosity, LHC, that will deliver 10 times more intense proton beams. A number of new facilities for the HL-LHC have already been built at CERN in recent years. The three major experiments called ATLAS, ALICE, and LHCb at CERN, in which NICF is involved, report they are now also seeing the beams passing through their detectors at these other stations. Now, mind you, these are important names to be aware of. Atlas, Alice. And why is that? Well, because those are the names of the looking glass technologies that are used by our shadow governments. So, lots of things going on in our skies on the very same day as this eclipse, not to mention the weather changes, the volcanic possibilities, the earthquake possibilities, and the manifestation possibilities that are all very fertile at this time. So the real question, I guess, remains, will you or won't you be outside during the solar eclipse? And will you or won't you be focusing your attention on the manifestation possibilities or all of the others? I want you to leave it in the comments below. I want to talk about this. Let's start an open dialogue. Let's work through fears. Let's talk about what we can do. If you don't know, ask me questions. I'm here to help, and we can do this together because we are who we've been waiting for. And until next time, be well and be blessed in love and light. Thank you and take care. Side note, I almost forgot to add that the zoos will also be doing their own study during the eclipse, and I want to show you.
How it'll impact humans, but animals too.
That's right. The Seneca Park is one of only a few zoos in the path of totality. And as News 10 NBC investigative reporter Jen Faluki shows us, they're not planning to waste that opportunity for research.
Zookeepers here will be paying very close attention to animal behaviors during totality, but they're not just looking at how the animals react. They're listening too. Audio recording devices have been installed in many of the exhibits.
Just put it into a bag and seal it up, and that's it.
The zoo has already started placing the audio moths so that it has a baseline of the normal sounds that animals make.
We've used these out in the field with RIT in the past.
The recording devices will be removed after the eclipse and reviewed. What are researchers listening for?
Which animals notice that things are different, and do they vocalize that in a way that either we can hear or we can't hear? And this hardware allows us to listen to both.
The audio moths can reach frequencies the human ear cannot. Why does that matter? The zoo says it can help keepers better care for the animals and look for ways to better protect them.
The more of that data that we can get in people's hands and researchers' hands, the more answers we can come up with.
The zoo's curator tells me he's excited to learn from the data.
There's a zebra, giraffe, lions, baboons, otters, snowy owl, several exhibits throughout the zoo, and then see if there's anything else going on.
As far as what he expects to see from the animals here at the zoo?
Some of them are going to be kind of confused about what's going on, and maybe they make some vocalizations about that. I expect maybe our lions here are going to roar and make some calls like that. Some of them are going to say, oh, it's nighttime, and start preparing for bed.
Who might have the biggest reaction?
The baboons are probably going to be the ones that are the most active and most curious about what's happening and how it got dark so quickly.
If you don't already have plans for the eclipse and you're interested in what the animals might do, you can come here and check it out for yourself. The zoo is open on the day of the eclipse. At the Seneca Park Zoo, Jennifer Lukey, News 10 NBC.
Pretty cool, I think, right? Pretty cool. Now I just want to show this to you and share this. This is one of my most favorite proverbs, and it's an Arab proverb. It's called He Who Knows. He who knows not and knows not he knows not, he is a fool. Shun him. He who knows not and knows he knows not, he is simple. Teach him. He who knows and knows not he knows, he is asleep. Wake him. He who knows and knows he knows is wise. Follow him. So, how many people do we have that are awake, who are ready to be taught, who need to be shunned for now, or that need to be the leaders or have someone to follow? And that's where I'm going to leave that. Blessings. Have a great day.